Hi there. We will start about module 2, designing an information architecture. This is very important module. It is not a basically technical, it's a focus about business requirement, how to be like a business analyst, how to sit with the customer or with the end user and try to gather the requirement, try to understand it very well to build your information architecture. The more accurate you will build your information architecture, the more satisfying your end user or your customer. Okay, so this module gonna start by first lesson, identify business requirement. There is a lot of ways and approaches to gather requirements. Okay, we will discuss it throughout this module. And how to plan for functional and non-functional requirement. You are, as a software engineer, you have to know the difference between functional requirement and non-functional requirement. Okay, so let's start by first of all, do and don't. If you're gonna sit with your customer or with business or with end user to gather the requirement, first of all, you have to gather the requirement from the right business team. You have to choose the decision maker and have a meeting with him, try to understand what's going on, what's basically need to be implemented. Second part about prepare your question. Before you go to the meeting with him, prepare your agenda, put all your points in one agenda and focus on your questions and try to get as much as answers as you can. Number 3, focus on business requirement. Sometimes, once you have a meeting with business, maybe you're gonna discuss other personal stuff, you're gonna discuss other points, but try to focus about business requirement. Try to, ask information that will lead you to build your architecture. Try to focus about architecture information. Like for what? For example, we need to build, content management system. Okay. So you need to ask how many departments you have, how you gonna conduct your business. Do you have different regions? Do you have different permissions level? You have to ask these kind of questions to build, your site collection and to know how many sub-sites you need to access. As well, try to go about license budget. Try to, put it in your meeting. And definitely, try to include functional and non-functional requirements. Both of them need to be discussed. And by end of that, you have to build your own documentation to present it later on to the customer so he can sign on it. But focus. Don't focus on specific technology. Right now, you are a business analyst. You are not a SharePoint consultant. You are not a SharePoint. You have to focus on your business or business requirement. You don't need to focus about, okay, we will use SharePoint. Okay, we will use IPM. Man, you are in a meeting of gathering requirement. Don't let your customer feel that you are going to him to sell the license of SharePoint. You are not here a pre-sales, okay? Second part, don't ask leading question. Don't ask this kind of questions, that will let him be frustrated. Don't ask, this kind of lead questions. And don't even ask lead requirement analysis to fit your predefined technology. Right now, I know most of, or I know some of my connections. He built his predefined technology, his predefined architecture, and he go to the business requirement meeting with, directors, and he try to lead them to use this predefined technology, this predefined architecture. By end of the day, he's gonna lose the customer. Okay? Don't as well provide the solution based on feature. You have to understand the whole situation. Okay? Okay, that's everything you need to do and don't, or you need to do and you need to avoid this kind of steps, which is most common mistakes for some of business analysts. And let's move to what's the approach you need to follow to gather the requirement. Let's see you in the next session to discuss about those.